Hello YouTube, Dave here again, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Pathfinder Abominations Vault Adventure Path Battle Card set. This was sent to me by the folks over at Paizo Publishing for the purposes of doing this review video on, so I do want to thank them for sending this along. However, as is always the case, they're not scripting the video or pre-screening it or anything along those lines, and the opinions that I express are 100% completely and totally my own. So the Abominations Vaults was, I think, the third adventure path for Pathfinder 2nd edition, and I want to say it was the first of the three-part adventure paths that they have released. They either come in like 3 parts or the whole 6 parts, which for Pathfinder usually runs from 1st to 20th level. I also have the hardcover compilation book, which I've shown off in a previous video. And the Abomination Vaults is absolutely a campaign that I do want to run for Pathfinder 2nd edition. And yeah, Pathfinder 2nd edition is something that I want to spend a lot more time with in 2023. I will also just throw this out there before we get into the unboxing and taking a look at the art and everything on the cards. Because these are creature stat cards for an adventure path, this will contain some spoilers just by default of showing you what kinds of creatures are in here. I'm not entirely sure if this is going to also include like NPCs or like main villains or anything like that, or if it's just going to be the simple sort of standard monsters, but we're going to find out sort of as we go through here. First of all, the box art here, I absolutely love this artwork. I like the Abomination Vaults logo for the adventure path, but I just the color combination really works. I'm a big fan of green, so like that sort of yellowish or tan color and green goes really, really well together. And this is a pretty sizable box set as well, which is kind of great to see. It does retail for $39.99 US, and on the back it reads, "Delve deep, what untold horrors await in the sprawling mega dungeon of the Abomination Vaults Adventure Path. This box contains 200 cards detailing every creepy, aberration, sneaky hunter, and subterranean horror. Each card features a beautiful full-color image on one side of that creature's statistics, on the other side for easy reference. Show your heroes what they're facing while keeping the stats you need close at hand." So without further ado, let's just get right into this, shall we? So again, I'm not going to go over like every single stat block or anything like that. With these types of videos, I mean, the battle cards for Pathfinder 2nd edition, along with pretty much all of the Paizo accessories for their games, are really high quality. They do a lot of things really well. They're not afraid to use multiple cards for creature stats to make sure that everything is included. By the sounds of it, it looked like it did only include the just regular monsters, and it didn't seem to include the NPCs. But then we also have this guy here, so like I said, we'll see. But if they do this, I think there's going to be some other Adventure Path compilation books. But I think it would even be great to actually release these types of card sets for some of the other, Adventure Paths that were out there. In the past, they were doing pawn sets for the sets, the Adventure Paths as well. I haven't seen any of the pawn collections. I don't know if they're still doing them or not. It's been a little while. I'll have to actually look on the website and see when the last ones were that were released. But it would be really cool to have like the adventure path, the battle cards, and the pawn sets as well. But yeah, that's just again sort of my thinking here. So we do have the artwork, of course, on the box there. And we do have the 3 stacks of cards here. Holy, it's going to be a lot to go through. It just has the OGL stuff on one side. We do have the Abomination Vaults hardcover compilation advertised here, which, again, I do have that as well. Just, is that a Troll? That might be a Troll, although it might have a different name in Pathfinder. And they do have the Pawn Collection as well, okay. But I think the Pawn Collection was released a lot at the end of the individual chapters being released, but I don't have the pawn set, so I'm gonna have to see if I can track that down at some point. And like I said, we do have the 3 sets of cards as well, so I think this is probably card number 1. So we're just going to go through these here, and again we'll just show off the sort of the stat blocks just so you can get an idea of what the stat blocks look like, but the main thing will be obviously to focus on the art. So let's do that, shall we? Just zoom in just a little bit here. All right, so the first card that we have is Afflicted Anacruz, and we have the stat blocks here, which you would find in the actual installments of the Adventure Path or in the hardcover. So you do have their key phrases here, their alignment of chaotic evil, that's large-sized aberration, and then you've got sort of its basic statistics here. So it's perception, which is normally used for initiative in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's sensory information, so this has dark vision. Languages, Abyssal, Elven, Undercommon, though it can't speak, it can understand. And then special skills would be Athletics, Acrobatics, and Stealth. And then we have their stats along with their modifiers. They don't give you the stat number, it's just the modifier, which is really all that you need anyway. So Strength and Dex are at +5, Con is at +3, Intelligence is -2, Wisdom is +3, and Charisma is +4. We got their armor class, their different saving throws, and their hit points. And this creature does have Attack of Opportunity as a special ability, which in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, attacks of opportunity are a thing, but not all classes or creatures would be trained enough in combat to recognize those openings and take them. And I gotta be honest, I actually kind of like that. Instead of removing the number of things that logically would force an attack of opportunity, like casting a spell while in melee range with somebody or moving through their threatened area or things along those lines, they still can trigger an attack of opportunity, but only if your opponent is seasoned enough or skilled in combat enough to recognize that you're leaving an opening and being able to take advantage. So again, really cool stuff there. It doesn't explain Attack of Opportunity because it is kind of a standard ability by now. Like, it's something that it's in enough other things that you should know what it is. But again, it's just a reaction which allows you to make your basic, like a melee attack against somebody. So we got their speed of 15 feet. Their attack, so we got the jaws along with tentacles. So I can't wait to see the art on this one. The damage, the Fearful Curse ability, Mind Lash, their Rend ability. And then we got Soul Scream and the different things for the saving throw. So on a failure, what happens if you get a success or critical success or even a critical failure, and the other ability there. This is all on one card, and on the back we do have the, that is grotesque. And again, I've said this in many other videos before. I'm going to continue to say this because I've heard a lot of people criticize the art in Pathfinder, in Paizo's products in general. And I still don't see it. I could see maybe the first edition, like some of the early stuff that they did, kind of had a bit of like an anime kind of look to it. But honestly, the artwork that I've seen over the last few years with Pathfinder 2nd Edition and Starfinder has actually been not only really good, but if like you see here, like this is friggin' nightmare fuel. So I think Paizo's art is not something that is. I think it's something that is one of their strengths and not a weakness like a lot of people have said in the past. And again, that a lot of that may be pertaining to some of the early Pathfinder things from first edition or even pre-Pathfinder. But man, ever since second edition at least, which is my frame of reference, the artwork has been fantastic. Then we have Aller Rosk. So again, I'm not going to necessarily say all of the names here. But we do have a male Morlock Ghoul, so that's really cool. Again, the artwork on these things are fantastic, and like I said, I'm not going to try to pronounce all the names because I'm bad with names to begin with, but again, just some really, really interesting art. And one of the cool things about the Abomination Vaults is basically it's a mega dungeon that was used to house like all these different like aberration creatures, but the caretaker is no more, so the abominations have started essentially just intermingling and creating even more disturbing creatures in their stead. So here we have an example of if a stat block would be too large to fit on a singular card, and what they do for that is they'll simply use two different cards. So you can see here, this one does state that it is continued on card number 6, and card number 6 says continued from card 5. So here we have the Barkumbuk, again, Really cool stuff. Basilisk. Just again, classic creatures there. That looks amazing. I think that's one of the cover arts. Yeah, that's one of the creatures on the box art as well. And that does come in 2 cards. So like I said, we're just going to go through and take a look. Is that a Devourer? Maybe. Yeah, it is. Okay, Devourers. I love Devourers too. And again, in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, the Devourer creatures look absolutely awesome. So that one does have 2 cards. And a Bite, I can pronounce that one. Wish I didn't though. Okay, moving on. That's strangely better. Bog Rot. Oh, Bog Rotted Froghemoth. Oh my god. There we go. The Froghemoth. Love it. Bone Gladiator. And there's some really cool looking creatures here. Brightwalker. Oh, I wonder if these are sort of like the opposite or similar along lines to like Nightwalkers. A Bloodleech Swarm. Ugh. So we got a Grave Knight here. And again, this one looks like it might be a specific villain. Or just like an elite kind of monster. But again, just really cool stuff. I love the artwork on these. They got the Canker Cultist. That's 2-carder. Carmen Rajan. Okay, so yeah, this is definitely a yeah, because that's a human. So they do include NPCs as well, and that's actually the guy from the box as well. It's cool stuff. So it looks like it does include NPCs as well as creatures. Now it's been a while since I've actually looked through the Abomination Vaults, so I'm not entirely remember who like the big bad was. Child of Belcora. There's the Chul. It is the Chul. Okay. And there we go there. I friggin' love I love Chuls. I just love Abominations. I gotta be honest. Voidbreaker Chul. And again, 2 different types of Chuls, 2 different types of artwork. There may be a couple of things where there may be like different, variations or different stat blocks for a slightly different version of the same creature. And there have been a few times where they've used the same artwork. Like I think there was like a bat and a giant bat or something like that where they did use the same artwork. But for the most part, they really will use multiple different arts for variations of the same creature. So we got a Corpse Light. The Elite Crawling Hand. And we got the Giant Crawling Hand. So again, different artwork there. Got some Daemons. Nothing looks. Ugh. Dressed to Shine. Okay, this is this the one that has like the acid that it can squirt? Or I might be thinking of something else. I think that was a Digester, but that looks pretty awesome as well. A Barbazoo. So I actually love the Barbazoo Devils. The Arenis. The Bone Devil, the Oslith Devil, and again they look so cool. Like this looks awesome. I freaking love their art. That's 2-carder Devil Zabub. Ugh. Okay. Evil Fishy Thing. More powerful looking Evil Fishy Thing. And just such awesome stuff. We got some Drow. So there we have the Drow Cavern Seer, a Drow Hunter, a Drow Rogue, a Drow Shootist, which I think is probably firearms. Oh no, hand crossbow. Okay, awesome, even better. And that's on 2 cards. A Drow Warden. Elder Child of Belcora. Again, just some awesome looking stuff. I love the artwork. Like I said, I really enjoy the artwork in these things. Elemental Magma Scorpion. Here we go. For some reason, I'm getting ready to start streaming Resident Evil games, and Resident Evil 0 is what I'm going to start with. And for some reason, I know it's not like a fire scorpion, but just seeing a big scorpion reminds me of that game. Elemental Miststalker, Elemental Sodhound, Empty Death Bodak. That looks awesome. Flesh Warp. Or sorry, yeah, Flesh Warp. A Flesh Warp Drider. Oh yeah, those Driders look friggin' sweet. Flesh Wrap, whatever this is. Another Fresh Warp. Grothlet. And there we go. That was bundle number 1. Bundle number 2 here. Alright, and then we've got a giant fly. Those green ones are an absolute pest. Whatever that's, but that sort of like an aquatic dragon type creature. Again, it's been a while since I looked through the Abomination Vaults. I do want to run it at some point. But yeah, it looks cool. We got a ghoul. Love ghouls. So here we got the ghoul, and then we have an elite ghast. So some different artwork there again. A gibbering mouther, so this ought to be interesting. Yeah. A little bit more basic than I was expecting, but I feel like that actually makes it worse somehow. Like I was expecting the flesh to be a little bit more almost decayed looking, but that's horrifying. So we're going to cover that up with a Gyptonius, which just looks like a big old frog. And then we got a Bounder. Oh, they only have the hind legs too. That's even more weird. Again, the Abomination Vaults had a ton of bizarre creatures in them. A Clay Golem. An Elite Stone Golem. A Flesh Golem. A Wood Golem. I actually really like that. A Growlgust. Yeah. A Gremlin. A Mitflit. Oh, the Gug. Those things are weird. The Golzash. It's cool stuff, lizard folk type of thing. Hydra. And actually takes up multiple cards. I think this one, does this one have the... It does have Hydra Regeneration, so good stuff. I was watching a friend of mine stream Dark Souls. I think Dark Souls Remastered. And he was fighting a Hydra, and the Hydra's heads never grew back, and it was like I was expecting them to, and I figured for a game that was built on being like super difficult, that the Hydra's heads regenerating was a no-brainer, but I don't know, maybe he was doing something to prevent it, but it wasn't immediately obvious. An Iskulug. That looks gross. It actually reminds me of Muro from RE Village. Jafaki. There's something, honestly, I gotta be there's something about a worm with wielding a rapier, a wand, and having alchemical bombs on it that just seems really awesome. I love that. Jarell Kaldarin. So again, this looks like, oh, it's a ghost. Which is in the keywords. I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. Jal Mesmin. So again, it looks really, really cool. He's a were creature. Okay, I thought he was a vampire, but he is a lycanthrope. Then we got Jal's wolf. So is that... Yes, that's Jal and his wolf. So again, we'll go through these a little bit quicker here. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the artwork is fantastic. The quality of these accessories, like I said, I don't know of too many companies that are as good at these as Paizo is. So again, really awesome stuff. Fantastic quality. Like I said, they're not afraid to use multiple cards. So it's probably not going to come as much of a shocker when I recommend this. So we'll do the review portion just sort of, I guess, as I'm going through this. But yeah, I think that these sets are absolutely fantastic. If you want to see some of the artwork in a little bit more detail, do feel free to pause as well. Got a Mimic. And I gotta say, I also like the fact that they didn't just go with the Mimic being a treasure chest. It actually looks like a throne, which it could be what it is masquerading as in the actual adventure path. But still, like, so many Mimics are essentially just treasure chests when they can take other forms, that it's kind of nice to see them do something a little bit different for their artwork. But yeah, like, so this is something that if you were looking to run the Abomination Vaults Adventure Path, again, I can't recommend these enough. I think they do an awesome job with these. And again, like, they understand what the, consumers are okay with and what they prefer. So again, they could have made the printing even smaller, try to fit everything on one card, or just omit creatures that take up more, or that they couldn't fit. That's weird looking. That they couldn't fit on a single card, and instead they just use two, which is great. Similar to their spell cards, right? If some of their spells are a bit too long to have all the text on a single card, then they just use two instead of only having like the very, very minimum stuff of like the components, duration, and then say just see description. So yeah, I love the way Pathfinder does their accessories. I think they're a fantastic company that understand what it, like I said, what it is that the customers are looking for, right? Like, if I wanted to buy stat cards, like I said, I want every creature that is supposed to be in the set be in the set, but I don't want them omitting something just because it's got a longer stat block, and that's what has been done by other companies, and I'm not going to name names here, but that's something that they have done, is they would basically just omit things from certain sets where they should be in, only to release them in a later set by introducing different sized cards, which also throws things off as well. If you're someone who is looking for like a uniform, consistent card size or look and all that stuff, I just think that Paizo does a better job of making their card sets useful, and making sure that everything that's supposed to be in there is in there. Got some puffball fungi. So that's got 2 stat cards. A dragon. Is that a black dragon? Yep. Oh, it's an ass. Yeah, large black dragon. Large or huge? Huge black dragon. The riding lizard, probably go along with the drow. The roper, another creature that I absolutely love. This is also a 2-carder. And I actually have it hanging from the ceiling, which is something you don't see a lot. Usually ropers are on the ground, but again, it's kind of just, they do a little bit of different stuff with these. And again, I think that's absolutely fantastic. So that's the first 2 sets. Then we just got the last little bundle to go through here. But yeah, I guess while I'm doing this, if any of you have actually played through, or if you've run the Abomination Vaults Adventure Path, let me know what your experiences were with that. Did you enjoy it? What were some of your favorite parts? Try to keep spoilers light in the comments, but like I said, the fact that this includes basically all the enemies that you would face in that campaign, there's going to be spoilers in this one. But yeah, let me know how that went for you. Like I said, it's one of the Pathfinder 2nd edition adventures that I really want to run. So this is actually continued from the other bundle there. So we're just going to set that aside. And some more wonderful, wonderful drow. A giant scorpion. This might actually be more suitable for... Yeah, that looks a lot more like the Resident Evil 0 one. So cool stuff there. Behemoths. I think the behemoths are dinosaurs. Oh, no, they're not. Okay. There's some systems where dinosaurs are called behemoths instead of dinosaurs. But this thing, that looks awesome. I also love the fact that it actually has like somebody fighting it in the artwork. Which, I mean, to be fair, would probably be lifted from the adventure path itself, but why wouldn't you? Right? It just makes sense. Okay, a skeletal giant. Love that. A skeletal Hulk. Skeleton guard. A slurk. Duh. Never thought I'd see a saber-toothed toad, but here we are. Spectre. And a dream spider, so we don't really need to look at that, right? Not a big fan. Oh, good, more spiders. More spiders. We're gonna go. You can pause if you want, but I will judge you if you do. Not really. Tangletop. Blood Mage. Reminds me of Dragon Age. A Death Scout. Lasher. Little Castlevania vibes going on there. The Tormentor. That looks awesome. I love that. The Warrior. And again, they have names to go along with them, but I'm just not going to do that. Ooh, this guy looks like a villain, sort of a male, or not male. I was just looking at the card. But this looks like sort of like a main villainish type of creature, so that's awesome to have there. Ooh, Vampiric Mist. I haven't actually seen Vampiric Mist in a while that I can remember. I'm sure it's been in something relatively recent, and I just have a really terrible memory. Vethris. The Nagas. You don't see Nagas used a lot anymore for some reason. They used to. I think there was a time where they were kind of prevalent, and like not all over the place, but it's. I can't remember the last time I've actually seen a Naga being used either, really. The Viscous Black Pudding. Love it. I also love the fact that it's a 2-carder. Weak Violet Fungus. A Cairn White. Oh, that looks awesome. I love it. I love like whites and wraiths and ghouls. Flicker Wisp. Soul Feeder Wisp. A Void Glutton Wisp. Alright. And a Will-O-Wisp. Actually, I want to take a look at the Will-O-Wisp for a second here, because I was running a 3.5 game, which was an adventure path, campaign path, whatever you want to call it, that Paizo did way back in the last days of Dungeon Magazine. And there was a Will-O-Wisp there that the party was like 5th or 6th level, and it had like an armor class of 29, which is ridiculous. So this one has an armor class of 27 and then a CR 6. So that's still pretty up there, which is interesting. That Will-O-Wisp was like it near did the party in. It would have done the party in. And what I ended up doing was reducing its armor class, because essentially only the fighters could hit if they rolled really good. And I decided just to, instead of having the high armor class, I just gave it extra hit points. So it would still be around roughly the same number of rounds, but people would be able to do stuff to it. Witchfire Warden. Oh, Dread Wraith. Like I said, I love Wraiths. That is awesome. I love it. Looks like another NPC. Conjuring 5. This thing. Oh, another NPC, actually. Cool stuff. And we got a Zombie Shambler. And this thing, the Zolzlergernern. And there we go. So that is the Abomination Vaults battle cards. That was also all the creatures that were in there. I've given my thoughts on it. I think these are awesome. I love the battle card sets that Pathfinder and Starfinder have for them. Paizo does some great stuff, and if you're going to run the Abomination Vaults Adventure Path, I do highly recommend picking this up, because it will come in very handy, especially if you don't want to be constantly opening up and flipping through books and stuff like that. I know some people do like online things, which is great. I'm not adept at that, so I will stick with my pencil and paper and these really cool battle cards that I can use to make running the game a little bit smoother. So once again, I just want to thank Paizo for sending this out to me. It's fantastic, as is always the case with these things. Do highly recommend it. I want to thank each and every one of you who's taken time out of your day to check this out as well. It really does mean the world to me. And I will see you all next time. Until then, take care.